That's a huge hit.
Oh, that's an absolute cracker.
Welcome everybody. Betway SA20 Season 3 Final. We have liftoff up in the air and it'll go all the way. 50s on, so they continue to deliver. And there you go! Needed it desperately.
Sunrisers Eastern Cape, the champions are on the chart at the moment.
Oh, what about it? That is a monster.
That's another fabulous shot. What about those two? That's also said this could be a major moment in the match. 138 for 4.
Cry is catch. Janssen.
I'll be delighted with this breakthrough.
181 is on the board.
It is out. It is out. KG Rabada with the early strike. Oh, wow. Sure is. What a start by my Cape Town. It's a lovely shot.
Gone at it again. This time it's gone all the way. 50s up and they might just be coming into gear. Oh dear. Done him.
Catch it! Oh, that's a brilliant piece of fielding. And a huge moment in their quest for their first trophy. Hit hard, but straight to the captain.
MI Cape Town win SA20 2025. May the party begin. And they are the champions.
Hello everybody and welcome to Inside Edge once again. Yeah, it's been a week or a month I should say, actually absolutely fantastic. The week that finishes it off, I wonder how you all felt turning up to all the stadiums for the eliminator, for the qualifier, for the other qualifier, and then at the Wanderers to finish things off for the Betway SA20. I tell you what, you wanted to come back straight away. Certainly I feel that way. I wonder if the guys who are with me here today feel that way as well. Russell Domingo, Nono Pongolo, nice to see you guys. Russ, you were right there in the mix, nearly there again, 3-peat. Tell me how you felt over the month.
Yeah, it's been a great tournament, Pom. Great to be here. Thanks for having me. Fantastic tournament. Pretty sad that it's come to an end, but it's been busy. Game after game, traveling, tight games, a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, close final, or not a close final, but getting into a final is a great event, so a great occasion. So pretty sad it's done, but can take a bit of a breath now and take a little bit of a breather, I suppose.
No?
Yeah, it's been a good week in terms of qualifiers as well. Really excited to see. I mean, Paul was one of the best sides in the tournament, but disappointing how their tournament went in the back end. But really exciting to see really good side, and of course MI really showing us why they've been the best side this year.
I sense, Russ, that there is a preference thing going on there. Like, it's gone straight at Paul. Paul Royals had gone, oh, I'm disappointed. Tears. Did you really think they were the ones to actually win it?
I mean, you thought home form was really good, but like I did question in terms of the options that they had on the road, is considering that the playoffs were in the high veld. You kind of felt that the balance might be slightly off. And of course, we can't not talk about Joe Root not being there, being a significant part of that side. And yeah, they couldn't replace the runs.
Okay. Best side won it, is what many will say. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, look, whether they're the best side on paper or not is irrelevant. But I think that the side that was in the best form has won it. And form in this competition is such a big thing. I mean, Ryan Rickleton, Rassie, Brevis, they've all been in really good form. We've got some world-class players in the Sunrisers team, but maybe struggled for form. And they were definitely the form side of this tournament and thoroughly deserved the championship based on the form they've showed throughout this month.
Yeah, let's look at their road to the final, actually. And what I'll stress here, Russ and Nono, as we look at them. I mean, you look at this, get to the playoffs, and they're straight into the final. And this is why you're talking about form. But something else that I'd like to point out is with all these stars that they have, actually they're local stars because they only played two overseas pros in Rashid Khan, their captain, and Trent Bolt, who was an addition, a fantastic addition, I might add.
Yeah, I mean, certainly was. And And I think that's such a great point that they've had 9 South African players in that final. And again, great experience for these local players. But I think for me, again, rewarding players, local players, they only had one issue really at number 4, is either Colin Ingram or Atal, where they were pretty much trying to figure out who's that extra batter that they wanted. And Connor Esterhuizen being the guy that they chose in the final. Really well balanced side. I mean, you look at probably unsung heroes. You look at Delano Purgiter, you look at Linda at the back end, how they finish most innings at the back end. But again, we cannot talk or can't not talk about the stars at the top, how they've set up most of the games, because seen a lot of sides struggled in the power play, losing a lot of wickets, but there's a lot of consistency in that MI Cape Town side, always getting a platform, allowing some of the superstars like Brevis to come in and actually take it forward.
You look at a lot of these tournaments are won by the teams who've got the best domestic players.
Yeah.
You look at Chennai in the IPL, you have Dhoni, Jadeja. They've had like the best Indian players playing for Chennai. The Sunrisers last year, Markram, Stubbs, Jansen were fantastic. This year, Rickleton, Rassie, Connie Esterhuizen in the final, Brevis, all the local players have really shot lights out for them. And those are the teams that generally win these competitions, teams with the best domestic players. So the recruitment's been really good. They've signed really good domestic players, and a lot of credit must go to Robin and his management team for getting the best players on board domestically and thrown in 1 or 2 international players to just give them that quality at the end, I suppose.
As you sat and you tried to work out, and let's have a look at this match summary with regards to the final.
Do we have to?
We too would like to. Remember, he was having some tears earlier. Now it's your turn to have tears right now. But yeah, in terms of planning for what might happen on the day, tell me what you felt was most dangerous in your opposition.
Yeah, look, we all along thought it's quite a big toss to win, and working at the Wonders day in, day out. The nature of the wicket seems to show of late that batting at night can be tricky. When you've got Rabada, when you've got Bolt coming at you, when you've got Rashid Khan, we always thought, ooh, it's going to be tricky under lights here at the Wonders. I know there's a big refurb going on there and the lights are going to get better, I suppose, so maybe that'll change. But we've always found domestically batting at night has become a really tough ask. So we thought 185, you've got a chance, but we're going to have to get off to a good start, and Bolt and Rabada didn't allow us to get off to any sort of start at all. I mean, Bolt 4 was for 9. So it was very tricky for us at night.
Yeah. Form is what you talked about. You lost 3 on the bounce, and some said, hey, look, this three-peat is on, because what you see in tournaments is teams kind of shooting the lights out at the start, like his pal was, and then not quite getting there in the end because not kind of peaking too early. Did you feel that they were kind of peaking at the right time, and having been there before, knew what might happen and would be able to kind of stand up again this time round?
Yeah, certainly. I think, first of all, Coach Adrian Burrows has got a record of not starting most T20 tournaments with a victory, and that kind of led to winning the title as well. So he believes, or you might say he believes in that theory now. When they don't start well, they end up ending up in the final parts of a tournament. But it's going to be difficult, let's be honest. Doing it for the 3rd time, there was that pressure. Aiden Markram was asked on a couple of occasions, how did that? But that's good pressure, right?
Yeah.
Because they've done well in the past, and it just felt not starting well. The sides this year, where you felt that some of the sides were doing well. MI Cape Town started well, but I think the disappointing part for me was obviously the importance of form, because Paul Rollers did start well. But you always talk about peaking at the right time. And unfortunate for me is that you started seeing the trends going in the wrong direction with some of the teams, and not being able to win away from home. And that balance of the squad was really that helped some of those teams.
Let's speak youngsters. Into your side, I'm sort of trying to think of your side, but it was an experienced side, wasn't it? Your team, lots of experience, lots of guys who you just kind of looked at and thought, they've applied their trade and they kind of go okay. Start with Leandre Pretorius, because I think he surprised many. Did he surprise you?
Not at all. I've been involved in some domestic games against him. He's a Joburg boy who's gone to Pretoria and sort of looking for opportunities to play. And he's gone to the Titans in Pretoria. And I know our first domestic game against us, he blitzed us. He got 80 or 40 balls. He got 100 on debut for the Titans against the Warriors in a 40 game. So by no means surprised by how well he's played because he's a seriously good talent with a lot of confidence and plays really good cricket shots. So by no means surprised that he's had such a good campaign.
I like that you say you're not surprised. Does that mean that you'd kind of back that he would be a good player, even if you kind of take him from one level and shift him up a little bit?
Pommie's a guy that when you have team meetings, you talk about, guys, how are we going to bowl to this guy? Because if you don't get this guy out, this guy could take the game away from you in the first 10 overs. So we know how dangerous he is. We've seen it at domestic cricket. So he's by no means surprised by how well he's gone.
Love it. I absolutely love that. And I'm sure there'd be many actually who'd like the fact that they're these young stars or these young players who potentially could be stars. You mentioned Connor Estes, and he also essentially forced himself into that final lineup with the way that he played in the course of the season, despite not getting too many runs. That final opportunity and him coming back home, as it were, and kind of got him into the final. Who else, guys? If I said who else came out of the tournament, not the usual names that everybody knows.
Whew, now you're making me think again. Like it feels like it's
You don't like thinking.
I mean, we've seen. I think obviously we can't hide that. For me, Luanda. I'm just repeating a little bit. We've seen him in domestic and in terms of ICC, he struggled with spin. And for me, it's the growth that I've seen from him to be able to now being able to actually be positive and aggressive against spin, because we've seen in the Under-19 World Cup, that was his Achilles heel. A lot of teams went through that part. And that the fact that in a year and a half at the Titans, he's rectified that and actually now is being aggressive and positive, trusting himself. It's nice to see a domestic player going into the circuit and actually working on a weakness and actually coming up trumps for that. So that's one. Probably, I'm struggling.
I got one. I think there are three players.
Yeah.
Luanda number one.
Yeah.
I think the re-emergence of Devil Brevis.
Yes.
After a quiet campaign last year, a lot of hype, a lot of pressure, baby, AB, all that sort of crap. But the re-emergence of Devil Brevis, a big one. And then I know he might be a little one of my plays at the Lions, I suppose.
I know what you're going to say.
He's only played 3 or 4 games. But the way he played in the final, Connor Estes, the way he played in the domestic final for the Lions, shows a lot about his temperament. So he played really well in this final. He played really well in the domestic final for the Lions. He got a 15-odd not out batting with Russie. So those are 3 really good players that I think potentially going forward, he's got a lot of potential.
Throw up one more. Maybe not, he didn't shoot the lights out, but it was nice to see him. And it's kind of a season where he is emerging as a youngster. Gwena Mapaka.
Yeah, I mean, you think he's had a long season already this year. Back end of a test match at Newlands, New Year's Test. And you would have thought, it's quite a significant part of the Power Royal team already. And probably the tournament didn't start as well as he would have liked, where he felt at some of the games or they were targeting him. But I think he had a well-needed break as well at some point. But mid-tournament, Keith Dudgeon was one of the players that came in, well-needed rest. And when he came back, what I love about Gwena is how quickly he's learning from me. He's adding on to his game. And I think that's so important for a youngster to be taking in so much. He's listening to a lot of the players and slow balls, and that back of the hand slow balls, is mixing it up. So he's almost like he's adding on, like in a short space of time, so much to his armory, which is really exciting, and taking on the lessons and putting it together at such a short space in time.
Right, yeah. On to those we kind of expected to do well. I suppose it's quite cool that he takes the last wicket to clinch the final. Kagiso Rabada, where they actually used him quite sparingly. Rest here, rest there, and a mollycoddle, and it worked out, didn't it?
Yeah, look, I mean, he's a champion. I mean, KG's done everything that is in the game. He's played in big games. He's played in World Cup semi-finals. He's played in World Cup finals, and the way he led this attack, this campaign, with Trent Bolt has been nothing short of spectacular. So 4 in the final, a couple of big wickets up front, a couple at the back end. I mean, I'd hate to say it, but it was like, we weren't really that keen to face him at the Wonders because, I mean, we know how good he is. And he can blow a team away, and he probably did this last game, unfortunately, for us.
Yeah, MI as a franchise, actually, as you think about it, that's him taking a catch there, but as a franchise, their strategy is quite impressive because it's not just here that they can combine as a pair. It's also in America, in that MLC. And I was thinking about it before, like when I was watching them and how good they were going together and thinking, oh, hold on. Yeah, this is a synergy that's being created in other places as well. So this whole franchising of the game. Talk about Marco Jansen, because in the season, whilst he seemed to have kind of started off as a guy with ball in hand, certainly, who might not be confident, yet he was taking wickets 6 for, 7 for, whatever it is. And when you spoke to him, he didn't sound like a guy who was happy with what was going on. He had it on a string during this tournament.
I don't know if there's a better all-rounder in the world at the moment. I mean,
shout.
as the number one all-rounder in the world, he makes any T20 side as a batter or as a bowler. He's phenomenal. And I think what people don't understand is because he's just quiet, he doesn't say much, but man, he's got passion and desire to do well. I mean, we went out at the second time out and we were needing 20 and over, and Mark said, "Coach, I'm going to do it. I feel I'm going to take these guys down. I'm going to swing hard here. I'm going to get us over this line." He's like, "Ooh, it's a tough ask here, Mark." But he still got that belief that needing 20 and over, I'm 130 run over, we'll be back in the game. So it's a phenomenal amount of confidence he's got. And like I say, I can't see a better all-round in the world. Look at him, Pat Cummins. Who you rather taking? Ooh, I think I'm taking Marco at the moment, particularly in this white ball format.
Yeah, in form, I don't think there's anyone. Like, you're not kind of hanging with him whilst he's on form. And in this tournament, there's out of this world, isn't he?
He's come back with a lot of energy. I mean, he got a well-needed rest, and he's come back stronger. He's come back with, I mean, his pace is up, he's swinging the ball, and I think in terms of areas as well, he's become more consistent, which is really exciting. Of course, his trend of taking wickets in the power play. It's kind of the reason why he's sitting at the top there, gives us the team good starts, which is what you want. Of course, who wants to play tall 140, swinging back at 2 meters plus? It makes any better. I find it really difficult. Again, I think what now is we're getting a lot more consistency from him with the bat. South Africa have been looking for 6, 7, 8 for a long time, and I think now he's starting to make it his own, and which again it is such a positive for South African cricket that he's confident with both bat and ball, and of course we've seen him take some good slip catches as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he can field. Don't worry about that. He can do anything. He literally is like a Superman. Okay, pitches. I want to talk pitches and batters. Talk to me.
Yeah, Pom, I've loved it. I mean, these games of 160s, 170s, it's what it used to be maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And I mean, you get onto some wickets with 220s getting chased down with an over to spare, and South Africa chased down 260 at Centurion maybe 2 years ago against the West Indies. Oh, I think it's just so hard for the bowlers. So I really enjoy the fact that the bowlers have brought back into this campaign by wickets which have offered them something, whether it's a little bit to the seam, whether it's a little bit of spin, and batsmanship has shone through. I mean, Rassie, Reza, Brevis, they've all played really good cricket shots and won the tournament by playing that way. So I loved it this season. It wasn't these 200, there might have been 2 games that 200 was scored, and that's cool because it gets the bowlers in the game. And the 160, 180 scores are good scores. That's still a good chase if you're going to chase that down. So, I mean, we chased 175 in the playoff game against your team, Paul. Yeah, against Paul, and got it in the last over, and that was a great game of cricket. We got 180 the previous game against Joburg, and they came 20 runs short. So I love those games. Those are good games.
All right, yeah, there'll be much discussion, no doubt, about what's gone on. The one thing that is for sure that nobody's going to argue about is one: if you're a spectator, when you turn up to the ground, you're having an absolute ball. And I think that's what Betway SA20 has got right, that around the cricket, there's a whole lot for everybody to enjoy. Also, it cuts across the spectrum in terms of society when you see the youngsters, the oldies, girls, boys, men, women, etc. turning up at the ground. So, yeah, it's been fantastic. Can't wait till next time, as I say. We'll take a break, then we shift towards South Africa, who are in Pakistan.
We are set for season 3 of the Betway SA20. Are we ready to go here?
We have liftoff.
That is big. Bowled him. What a grab. Oh, that's gone a long way. Majestic. It is out. Ball straight up. Man with the gloves went for it.
Sweet. What a shot. That is fantastic.
Oh, that's a beauty.
Gone.
He connects. A 6. Russell.
That's a brilliant piece of fielding.
MI Cape Town win. May the party begin. And they are the champions.
धड़के दिल जोर से धड़के देखो क्या होगा कुछ भी हो सकता खेल में कौन हारे कौन जीते कोई भी ना जाने कुछ भी हो सकता खेल में खेलने आए हम खेलने आए पूरी तैयारी से हम जिम्मेदारी से खेलने आए गली गली भरी भरी तुझे मुझे देखने की जंग है खेलेंगे जोश से दुनिया देखने आई चैंपियन वही डट के जो खेल दे रखे ऑल ऑन द लाइन जिसमें दम है वो हाजिर है गेम में देखिए खेल है होश का आए हैं खेलने जाएंगे जीत के गली गली भरी भरी तुझे मुझे
Welcome back, everybody, to Inside Edge. We've discussed Betway SA20. Now get everybody together, all the franchises as one, to play for South Africa. In Pakistan, I tell you what, it's a fantastic start in the what we'll call the warm-up triangular. To have Matthew Britsky get 150 on ODI debut. You know him well, don't you, Russ?
Yeah, he's an Eastern Cape boy, Port Elizabeth boy. Attended the same school that my sons went to, so he's a good player. He's had a taste of it. One test match in Bangladesh. He's played a few T20s. I'm not sure. He might have played a couple of ODIs. He's a phenomenal talent. At schoolboy cricket, I think he's got the record for Grade P. He's got 23 first team unders, beat Graham Pollock's record. So he's a hell of a player, and hopefully this is the start of things to come for him in international cricket, because he's had a sniff and a few starts and a few little scores, but hopefully this settles him down a bit.
The importance of these warm-up games, I call them warm. They're internationals and they'll be full-fledged and everyone's trying to win them, but there's the reality of not the actual ICC Champions Trophy squad being there because of the clash with the finals of SA20. Is it a good thing, do you think, that others get a go? Yeah. And what does it do in essence?
I mean, look at it. Today is such a great opportunity for some of the guys that are outside of that Champions Trophy squad. It didn't have the best of Betway SA20s this year. And whilst the other guys are busy worrying, being in the final, playing in the Betway SA20 final, there's a great opportunity for some of these local players to showcase what they can do. Look now, he's created a good problem for the coach. 150 is really important. But again, I think for him, we've always known about the talent of Matthew Britsky, but he hasn't really showed it at an international level and some of the opportunities that he's had. And now he's announced himself, and again, good problems to have at the top. And maybe if they do have an injury at some point, he's now forced himself to be an option to be considered.
Yeah, it's Pom, just sorry. I mean, it's great for the players, but for the coaching staff, I think it's a really tricky situation because they're playing players here that are not going to play in the Champions Trophy. So if you're Rob Walter, you're hoping that all your other boys have been playing in these couple of games, because this is all you've got in terms of one-day cricket before the Champions Trophy. So it's not ideal for South Africa. It's great for Matthew Britsky and the fringe players, but for the coaching staff and for the team at the tournament, I don't think it's a great thing that none of those players have been playing.
Talk about the transition to go from playing 2020 cricket to then go and play 50-over cricket, and the difficulty in reining oneself in from and I suppose I'm talking batters more more than I am talking bowlers. There is that to do as well as a bowler, but more so for the batters who have to put scores on the board.
No, I think it's a big thing. I think you almost put Test cricket closer to 50 over cricket and T20 completely separate because your bowlers now got to bowl 10 overs. They're not bowling 2 up front, 2 at the back. They've got to have 10 overs in that heat in Pakistan. Is a big difference. So I think there's a lot of adaptation that's got to take place from the T20 going into the 50 over format. Teams are getting 220 overs. Here you might have to get 350. So there's a big step and long periods of batting, and guys are playing big knocks in 20 balls. Here you got to play it in 120 balls. So there's a big difference, I think, mentally going into this format, and hopefully the players can make that adjustment pretty quickly.
Easier for batters, easier for bowlers. What do you think in the adjustment?
I think it's always harder for the bowlers because, I mean, the workloads is the first thing that you do consider. You've had a tournament, most of them being involved in the Betway SA20 where they've been bowling 4. And I don't know how many of them would have been thinking ahead to say maybe in my spare time I can get longer spells as well to get myself
No. You got to rest. You got to rest.
Yeah. So that's the difficulty of it. But I think what's nice again about the 50 over, it's more stock ball most of the time. So you're just relying more on your stock ball, and then you know that your variations are in play because you've had a month of T20 cricket, so you can trust that it's there. But now trusting your stock ball for a lot longer, I think, is important. And again, you just need to find that opportunity of going back to basics, as one might say.
Let's talk about injuries and the headaches that they then cause. I mean, the 11 that you pick on the day are the 11 that will play, and you know the 15 that are in the squad are who you pick from. But let's rattle them off, and I'll go one, you go one. So I'll start with Nandre Burger.
No care.
Gerald Coetzee.
Gerald Coetzee.
Lazard Williams.
Lazard Williams. So, any more? Come on, carry on.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I think that.
Anyway, I think it makes the point, doesn't it? So, what does that do? And does that simplify things from a selection perspective? What are you thinking with South Africa's team?
I think it's tricky, but what it does allow, fortunately, because you're playing in Pakistan, you're probably going to be playing 2 spinners. So it's not maybe such a major train smash. Obviously, having Nokia not there with the express pace through the air is obviously a big blow. But you've still got the likes of Rabada, you've still got the likes of Marco Jansen. The challenge is if one of them get injured, then you're under the pump here, because those are your 2 spearheads in any conditions. Whereas the other guys, you can maybe fill in here and there with your all-rounder and bring in an extra spinner. There's Lungi and Giri who's experienced, but if one of those 2 go down, then we're under the pump. So those 2 got to be wrapped in cotton wool for these next couple of weeks.
It's a short tournament. Effectively, I suppose you'd say it would be 5 games, right?
Yeah.
If you're to win it. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, what are the implications of that?
It's got to start well, and I think you got to know your starting lineup quite early, and you have to stick to it. So it's, I mean, not having this tri-series is already a big blow for Rob Walter, because you don't have that opportunity to test it out and see what combinations you go with. So he has to figure it out as he goes, and hopefully it's a good start. But again, if you're looking at the group that South Africa is in, you've got Australia, England, Afghanistan, and we've seen some of these Afghanistan spinners, how tough they are, how good they are, and particularly if you're going to put them in Pakistan conditions. So South Africa have got a really tough group, and again, it's all about how you start and the combinations that the coach will find to make sure that he goes through the tournament with pretty much the same team.
Which is a tougher group then?
Sure, I'm not sure, because England are under the pump in India. They've just lost the T20 series 4-1, and they're down in the one-day series. Australia, they're in Sri Lanka at the moment, so they're also not playing a lot of 50-over cricket. I don't know. Afghanistan are dangerous. There's no easy, no soft group there. Any of those teams can beat anybody on the day, so it doesn't really make a difference where you are, I suppose.
Pat Cummins not around, struggling with injury. Hazelwood injury. Stoinis retired. It's a lot of opportunities within the Australia side, so that's one thing. Brendan McCullum, new coach of the one-day side. So it does provide an opportunity, but again, this one-day side hasn't been together for quite a bit as well. So you might feel, as much as it provides an opportunity for South Africa, you still got to put a team together. I'm not sure which way he wants to go.
I feel that Nono is all tentative and conservative. What are the real expectations? I know generally expectation is win it. That's what everybody will say, right? You don't go there if you're not trying to, right?
Guys, Pom, if you look at our batting lineup here, we have got an unbelievable batting line. We've got Temba, you've got possibly De Zorzi, you've got Markram, you've got Rassie, you've got Klaasen, you've got Miller, you've got Stubbs. I mean, you've got a seriously good bat. Rickleton's in the mix. So in terms of batting depth, I mean, that is as good as any team in the world. And looking at the conditions here, it's going to be great for batting. So I think you've got a real chance to absolutely...
That's better, Russ. That's better.
I think we've got a good chance here of going all the way with that batting lineup.
But it's still going back to the point, Pommie.
It's
Rickleton. Are we going to trust Rickleton to open for us? Is it Tony? Is it Temba with who? All those options, it's something that Coach Russ needs to do. But we've seen South Africa in previous ICC events doing really well, especially in the 50-over part. So again, for me, there is a great opportunity, but I still don't know what combination South Africa will go with.
I'm gonna take him backstage and I'm gonna have a little word with him, okay? No. Yeah, and I'll say, come on, you gotta tell me what you really think, okay? Or what you really want, okay? I'm only joking, no. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Russ. Thank you all for watching. It's been absolutely fantastic. We could go on for hours, and we will. Backstage. Catch you next time. Goodbye.
You never seen nothing like.
Lovely shot.
As
the celebrations begin for this CSA One Day cover.
It's another exciting one-day cup tournament, and this year's fans are in for a treat.
We're gonna beat them, gonna bust them. Go.
Let's go. That is quite outstanding.
In the air. A moment to savor.
Zanawe, and rally behind your team as the players gear up to showcase their powers on the field. Make sure you get your tickets and experience every game, every moment, and every hero. The summer continues from the 15th of February to the 16th of March on SuperSport.
This is good cricket. That's a huge hit.
Oh, that's an absolute cracker.